think that the things that have brought us here today tell us a lot about the development of our continent of Africa. I'm beginning by saying that the place of the diaspora, the status of people in the diaspora, of the African diaspora, is intimately linked with what happens on the continent. And Africa strong and performing transforms your position and your status here in Europe. But an Africa which continues to live the narrative of poverty, hungry children, people going across the Sahara, going in rickety boats and dying in Lampedusa to get to Europe. That Africa is not a narrative that is going to help you over here. So I think between you and us, our main task is the transformation of the continent. And why do I say so? Just one simple example. The Chinese diaspora is supposed to be some 60 million people. And in the table of states, they constitute the 25th country in the world. They're saying that of the 52 billion foreign investment that went into China in the 80s and 90s that transformed China into what it is today, the manufacturing hub of the world, 50% of that, 26%, came from the Chinese overseas community. And that development of China that has taken place has changed the status and the position of Chinese all over the world. So I want you to take those statistics very seriously, because that is the transformative connection that we want to make with the African diaspora. How to implicate it in the development of the continent. Once we change the narrative about Africa, and we can only do it ourselves, we have to get away from the idea that there's some Father Christmas somewhere who's going to come and develop our continent for us. There is no such Father Christmas. There's just us who are going to be able to develop our continent.
Like we always do about this time.
I don't know.
Let's go. What's going on, world? It's your girl, Black Barbara Watts.
Chill, welcome more in the building.
And of course,
What's your name, boy? Where you from, fool?
Detroit, what up, though?
I'm from the murder
Nigga.
as it says on his
I'm
shirt.
still that nigga. I'm still that.
Why I gotta see down your throat?
Like a
I want to
dungeon
see these
dragon.
tonsils.
No, I don't want to see your tonsils.
Whoa, pause.
Oh, he might be a doctor. I don't know.
No.
Hey, doctor.
That-
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Welcome to another edition of I Often Wonder. I cannot with him. Y'all see the tomfoolery has already started. Before we go any further into
And I ain't had nothing to do with it. I'm good.
I don't understand what's
chilling
going on
over
with
here.
y'all.
Before we go any further into today's eavesdrop conversation, you guys make sure you go over to the website, www.ioftenwonder.com. You'll find all of our social media platforms behind the scenes. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see where it says join our Patreon.
Right there.
Go ahead and join that. That way
click.
you can get all of the merch. And as you see, the boys have, of course, it's hoodie season. They've got
yeah.
the merch on.
Hood out.
Lamar has the I Often Wonder logo,
chilling.
and Jamel has the That Nigga one on. It is, yeah,
Steal that.
all day long. But we also have some exciting news.
Yep.
For those who have not already known,
Mm-hmm.
we are now on Buzzsprout.com.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that allows us to be on a whole lot more different platforms.
Yep.
So you can definitely watch us on your favorite platform from
Right.
Apple. Did you just sting me?
Float like a butterfly.
Sting like a bee. But you can go to www.ioftenwonder19.com. Is it backslash? No backslash. Sorry. So then .com, buzzsprout.com.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of .coms. Just go there.
Just remember the name. Add
Just go
Buzzsprout
to the website. It got all our social stuff on it.
Right, everything. So thank you to
Don't act like we
Buzzsprout.
ain't tells you.
Right. Thank you to Buzzsprout for picking us up and spreading our lovely podcast around the world.
Appreciate you.
We greatly appreciate you.
Holla at your boy.
But let's go ahead and get into
Slide
today's
his DMs.
His
is wide open. Mine's is like when Jamel used to clap his hand on the show. Shut.
His DMs. No one else's,
Mine's
okay?
is shut. And hers are so refined.
It's very refined.
She needs somebody to work them open.
Anyway.
Before we get in,
I'm talking about the DMs.
let's get into
mouth.
today's eavesdrop
Where y'all mind at?
conversation. I'm not talking to you.
You've been
for
working
right
too much. Your
now.
mind's in the gutter.
Today's eavesdrop conversation is a part of our great series of 28 days of Black history, Black excellence,
Right.
Black savageness, everything that's blackity black,
What?
black.
Mama said, Mama said.
That was a long pause, bro.
It's like the Jack in the Box. You keep
You gotta keep winding and
get stuck or
winding
something?
and winding.
well, you know, sometimes it got stuck.
yeah.
You got to flick it
real quick.
Ow.
Now it's working.
I cannot with him. Today is no different. We have a man who is
Who's the
taking
man with the master
fashion
plan?
world by storm.
Right.
With his apparel line, and I'm excited just to talk to him.
That's
so
right.
please welcome to the eavesdrop conversation of the hour.
Come on, man. What is this
I think
guy?
I deleted by accident. But go
Oh
ahead.
my God.
All right. Anyway, we have Mr. John McClung Jr. Welcome to the store.
My bad.
To the show.
Hey, look.
Yeah.
My equipment been acting funny lately. My bad.
Now, Mr. McClung, just forgive us because he be on CP with the applauses and
No,
I don't know the
it's
sound
just
effects,
not-
right? I
This
don't know what's
time-
going on with this
This
guy.
time he has it deleted, and we're like,
And now he talking about he ain't got to delete it. Woo! Give it up! Yeah!
there we go.
You go, boy.
You go.
What's good?
What's going on, sir? How you doing today?
I'm amazing. Hey, I'm above ground and I have
Hey.
no.
That's it right there. I felt that in my shondo. Y'all better watch out. My shondo. Before we go any further, we have to ask you, of course, our number one question with this series. And that is, what does Black history mean to you? Please give us some insight on the importance and what it means to the grown man John.
I have to contemplate that question mainly because, you have to have a specific standard to measure yourself by.
Oh,
And
my.
so if you look at the historical life of our ancestors, when we talk about Black history, there's a specific standard that all of us must set ourselves by being able to look back and see what we've come through.
Right.
At every level, as far as the things that have been fought for, the level of pride that we have as far as our people. And then you have to even look at, from a historical aspect amongst our people, what we've lost. And so, we have to look at, the measure. How do we measure ourselves historically where we are now from for looking back at our history? And there's so much, our history is so rich that it gives you an opportunity to pull different things out of it that you can apply to your life. And then also some things that you can avoid by the mistakes that we made as well in our history. So, when you look at Black history, you look at, I had this conversation the other day, as a kid, in school, you used to have all of the colors and you would mix the colors to make a specific, other colors, right? So the richness of our history is that anything, when you look at what mixes with black, you have black pride, black wealth, black family, black love. You'd have all these things that are historical that came from our roots, and that's how you have to look at black history, and that's how I look at it. I look at it as, how do I personally measure what I've gone through in the generations in my own personal family that have accelerated us to be able to do what we're doing today.
Oh, wow. That was an essay.
Listen, that was a good essay, though. I liked it. I love it.
That was good.
Again, like
Never
everyone
fails.
else,
It never fails.
there's always a new answer, a new mic drop
question,
to that question.
Right.
The next show, I'm putting it at the end of the show. I'm not asking it first. I'm just not.
Save it for last.
I'm gonna save that one for last because
It's always good. It's always.
always.
Except for one.
Now let's get into as my daddy would say. I was trying to ignore him. Why'd you have to laugh? Let's get into being nosy and let's pick into your history and your background here a little bit, Mr. John.
Let's go.
Let's do it. I love
They
it.
said, "Come on now,
Let's go. Give us a little bit of where you're from. What's the name of your clothing line and how it actually came about?
Plug yourself, brother."
Oh yes, those are three great questions. All right, so I'm from Dogtown City, which is Long Beach, California. That is my home. I'm a native of Long Beach, California. Hey, listen. Area code 213. So, I migrated. I left home early. I left at the age of 18. So
Okay.
I've lived in Nevada, Arizona. I lived in Michigan for 25 years, in Mexico, and now I'm in Georgia.
Okay.
So I got an opportunity to do some things. And so to answer the second question in reference to the apparel line, the apparel line was laid in my spirit in 2009. I started in 2011, and it's called I Am a Testimony Apparel.
Okay.
And that was laid in my spirit based on some things that I was going through. I was going through this real tough divorce, and I had an opportunity to be a co-host on a radio show. And one of the things I would say at the end was, I am a testimony based on the things that I had gone through.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started the brand mainly because, just as yourselves, each one of us have a story in our life or that we can actually share
Right.
that might help somebody else's life. And then not only that, when you do, something in their life may help you. And so that's the brand, that's the thing that for I Am a Testimony, when you wear the gear, somebody's going to ask you what that means to you or why are you a testimony? And then you get a chance to share your story. And it goes back and forth, and you have two individuals helping each other.
I like that.
I definitely like that because I don't think a lot of people realize that when you have a story, even if it's just a little piece, you can always take that and make it into something bigger, which I love the fact that you took that tagline and you made it into something outrageous. Like I love that. But
it's a lifestyle. Not only it's a lifestyle.
That's it.
Not only can you wear it, you can share it.
Okay.
Listen, I love.
That's a tagline for your
That's
shirt.
it, right? That's a tagline right there. That is. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna have even more with Mr. John. You guys stay tuned.
La, 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 la.
A living testimony. Oh yeah, I could have been dead and gone, but Lord, you let me live on. I'm a living testimony. Oh Lord, and I'm grateful I'm still alive. Come on, man. Help me sing it, John. I'm all over this place. You know I. Oh, Lord. Look at me. I'm a living testimony.
Listen, I already told y'all what happens when y'all start playing the good gospel music. You get me stirred up. You get me stirred up. We are back. Thank you guys for tuning in.
You got your tattoos on?
Listen, I always have my tap shoes on. Please understand.
Gregory Hines.
I'm about to call it Tony Toe Taps.
Listen, a praiser does not leave home without their tap shoes.
Hey, you do your thing.
Do your
sister.
thing, girl.
Listen.
I'm just saying, if you go ahead, just go ahead and tap them feet.
Push back from the table. Don't go that way.
We might as well set up like almost a
praise
fans only
family.
account, and y'all go ahead and
You said praise only account?
yeah.
Oh.
Charge for the toe tap.
That's the gospel version of fans only.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, I mean.
OnlyFans?
Yeah, it's a praise only.
my
Praise only.
God.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and pay for
Hey,
this
we
toe
patent
tap.
that here. Don't be trying to take our idea.
Hey, don't.
Somebody
don't do
gonna
it.
snatch that idea.
Don't do it. Don't
Heard
do
it first here.
Yeah, we back.
We're back.
We're back.
And we have Mr. John here. I did want to dig in a little bit more. We got the name of your apparel line,
Right.
But what a lot of people also don't know is you are also an author and a public speaker, a coach, a photographer, videographer.
You just a Renaissance
spiritual
man.
counselor,
Publisher.
chaplain.
Wow.
Tell us about
Man, you got more jobs than a Jamaican. Man.
this.
Right.
Going on.
I can identify with you.
Right. So I can't tell us about what your journey was like before your clothing line. And how did you get into all of these different things?
Yeah,
like that's like your resume is outrageous. Like I love it.
Hey, do you sleep, bro?
Right.
Hey, they say geniuses don't sleep, man.
Hello.
Hey.
Take a
There you go.
power nap and keep going.
Hey.
Power nap and keep going. That's exactly right.
Wow. Well,
So to answer your question, I'm a PK. I'm a preacher's kid, and the reason I left home at 18 was I was ready to get away, and so I considered myself the prodigal son.
Okay.
And what that for me over the 40 years that I've been in the wilderness, as I would say, I got an opportunity to learn some things in life that I really didn't have to go through. And so the only way that it really resonates for my life is that I had to go through those things so that I can identify with the individuals that I'll be serving, as far as the people that I talk to, my apparel brand. And so, there's a lot of individuals who, they can talk about certain things, but they never have gone through it.
Right.
They talk from a mind experience or just the thought of the subject matter. Well, I can't really say that because the things that I talk about and go through or talk about with people, I've gone through it. So my wilderness life allowed me to actually be more authentic and transparent when I write, when I speak, when I do business with individuals, when I coach and train in the areas that I've learned to be somewhat of an expert. Because I always when I tell people, my clients, if you've done it, whatever you've done for more than 10,000 hours, you are considered an expert in that area.
Right.
Wow.
So so I've there's a lot of things I've done for more than 10,000 hours, including live.
Right.
So so I have an expertise in living. So,
we keep on living, bro.
to answer your question in reference to the variety of opportunities I've had to use my talents in, I'm a spiritual individual, and one of the things in one of my favorite verses is Proverbs 3:6, in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path.
Yes.
So a lot of individuals forget to forget that there's an S on path at the end of that verse. They just use PATH instead of PATHS.
Right.
And so if you look at that S, it gives you the different areas of talent that you can be directed in. So the things that I'm doing as far as my life, I'm exhausting my talents as far as the gift that I've been given. And so that's why I'm able to really be in the different areas of expertise, because, the Lord has blessed me with more gifts than just one.
That's good.
I like that.
That's real good.
Talk about your chaplaincy. Were you a chaplain in the prison or? Cause I used to be
Hospital.
it was a hospital. 'Cause I used to be a chaplain when I was in the academy. I was a chaplain for my class in the academy. And it was an interesting experience. So I just kind of want to see your experience with your chaplaincy.
Well, the plus side for me being a chaplain, I just recently became one last year.
Okay.
And Thank you. I've been in the ministry for over 50 years. So
Wow.
yeah. So the title itself was something, and it's interesting. When I was going through the chaplaincy, as far as the process, my mother happened to be in town, and she told me something that really made me enjoy the fact I was going through it. My father had been a pastor for 40 plus years before he passed away, and so he was actually going through chaplaincy before he passed. So he never got a chance to finish the classes.
Oh wow!
So I'm the first in our whole in the generation of our family to be a chaplain. So it has given me an opportunity to, of course, be directed in a variety of areas. So I can go into hospitals. I can actually go on to sites where there's where there's been tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
I can go into schools. So I have what chaplaincy has done for me. It has actually expanded the ministry.
Wow. That's good.
That's good, man. That's good.
That's really, really good.
Hey, so you know how we big on quotes around here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We love our quotes.
Right.
So I'm definitely gonna steal this quote from you. I might put it.
I think I know.
You might have to put on the T-shirt.
I know exactly what you want to do, because I feel like you about to take a question right out my book.
I might. But it says, do something so great
Yes.
that history cannot erase it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a Johnism, man. That's a Johnism.
Well, I like that Johnism.
Listen.
Because I'm like, man, when I read it, I'm like, oh, well, damn, look at that.
I gotta get to work.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I read it. That's why I thought I gotta get to work.
Got to get to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, man, when you read something like that, for me, what it does for me is says, do more, push harder.
Right.
It says, don't get comfortable, don't get complacent, go further. You are capable of doing more.
You better break his quote on down then. Break it down.
So, Mr. McClung,
Yeah, I like that.
So when you came up with that Johnism, what influenced that quote?
Oh, can I answer that twofold?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. So think about the first question you asked me about Black history,
Mm-hmm.
and apply. Now that's not the reason why I did, but I'm just it just hit my spirit in saying that. If you think about what they had done in that time frame, it was so great that it brought us to where we are today.
Mm-hmm.
That you can't erase us. So if you think about a life that is going to make a difference, then do something so great that is, first of all, it's going to scare you, but the greatness of it can't be taken away.
Right.
And so any individual, one of the things that I look to do is, when people come or call me or they're working with me, because I also have a book publishing company. And so the writers, they're challenged because some of them don't believe their story is worth reading.
Wow.
But there's, one of the other things I always say is that, what if you had medicine? Would you hold on to the medicine if it could cure people?
Right.
And you would not do that. So you are the medicine to somebody's headache.
Mm-hmm.
So when you begin to see that and do that, then now you have begun to do things so great that not only can history not erase it, but the people you're blessing, they won't let it erase,
Right.
because it's always going to make an impact on their life. Just like you guys showed, you're doing something verbally great.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to bless somebody based on either entertainment or the individuals you have come on. You can't erase that.
Right.
So, that's the power of doing the fullness of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about doing multiple things, in each one of them areas, I'm doing things that people cannot erase.
Right.
Listen.
Man, you better talk that talk, boy. You better talk that talk, boy. Oh my God.
I don't even know what to say after that whole.
I see why you're a motivational speaker. It's like, no, because Mr. John, like, you literally called all three of us at that perfect amount of time.
Right.
Where we are all three doing separate, personal entrepreneurships. And just to hear you say that, because I'm pretty sure you at one point had to start somewhere, and then you
scratch, bro.
Yeah. You scratch.
From scratch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about, think about it, okay, I started in 2011, actually, the brand. Mm-hmm. And I would be I'll be 59 in January.
Okay.
And so when you think, it makes me feel useful. So I'm actually still learning in every area that I have now become pretty good in, as far as being, and I say pretty good mainly because I'm helping other people do the same thing.
Okay.
Right.
And so, so when you talk about, starting where you are as far as from entrepreneurship, the mere fact is the moment you get the idea, you have a choice. You can either do it or not.
That's
And when you step into doing your idea, you've made the decision. Now all you got to do is dedicate yourself to it.
Right.
Yes.
And something will happen. For me in the T-shirt business, my thing was, man, if I saw one person with my shirt on, I did it.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying, now I got hundreds of people with it on across the country, internationally, and it's not even as big as it's going to be. And so, but you will never know that if you never get the idea.
Right.
You are speaking to the spirits right now inside of me. Just gonna say that.
Man, we caught this interview at the right
Listen,
time.
every episode that we do, we've been recording 28 podcasts now for a minute.
Right.
And we had this conversation off camera, so y'all are getting the inside scoop, listeners. But when the Lord dropped this in Jamel's spirit to do this, we were like, okay, how are we going to do 28? You want to do a show every day. Every day of the month of February. Yeah. So we took the challenge.
Yeah, let's just keep it real. I like these jokers, but I'm not looking at these jokers.
Lamar and I see way too much of each other. From the show to catering company, we see way too much of each other. But no, we took the challenge, and if nothing else, it has been a blessing to us because every guest that we have, you included, have been speaking directly to
confirmation and information.
Our situation and whatnot. So just the way that you explained that right there, and
I think too. I think another thing too is like I like the connections that we make.
Yes,
it's like I mean immediately after we get through talking to somebody, it's almost like we just know them for years.
Yeah,
it's like the right people came in for the show, for each show. We made certain connections, and those connections was like you can tell there was real connections.
Oh yeah,
it was genuine.
Yeah, it was genuine and real connection. That's why I said this was ordained.
Yeah.
And then like every time somebody came on, it was like they spoke something. It's like, oh wow. They said, oh like wow. So then now you get anticipating. It's almost like revival. We have like a week revival. The first 2 days be good. Then like by the time Wednesday comes, you running. I'm like, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. Then by the end of the week, you be tired physically, but spiritually you be rejuvenated.
Listen,
and I think that's what this has been. It's kind of like. Cause we a couple of days we was doing like 4 in a row. 4 like we get through it one, change the camera, change this out. All right, let's get to another one. And we was doing that sometimes for 2 or 3 days straight, and it was just like a grind. But
it was getting so grinding. My old lady was like, "How many times you
going back over to the studio again?"
It's like y'all gotta let me share something with you then. Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
So think about that. You are actually stepping into what you believe as your vision because you've already seen it, but you hadn't started your steps yet.
Right.
But here's the thing: a glass cannot fill up a pitcher. So you guys are in pitcher mode. So as you are filling other people's glasses up, the interviews that you are going through are pitchers that are filling you back up as pitchers.
I like that.
So, because you will always, every time you're sharing information probably into glass levels because they're not doing what you're doing. But then you got individuals who come into your life who you are inviting on at a different level, and now they're pouring back into your picture that allows you to be rejuvenated.
Right. I like that.
I'm walking off.
I'm about to say I'm just gonna log off and just let him have the rest of the show because the way that he is. Listen, I don't know what you did in your prayer closet this morning, sir, but let me tell you something. let me tell you.
Had your Wheaties today.
Something.
Hey, this is me every day, y'all. This is me every day. Life Messenger. That's I'm not in. I know you said inspirational speak, but if you look at it, it has slash Life Messenger because the message is that right now I've been doing a series called Spiritual Message Moment, and I've been doing it on Monday nights at 10:30 on Facebook Live. So for the last 4 years, I've been doing that every week, and I have not missed a week. So I have words that I break down from an acrostic. I'm an acrostic speaker, so I take a word and break each letter down individually into a message and just make it plain.
I like that.
You know what? If somebody is being a negative person around you, I just don't understand.
I don't understand how they do that.
Because just your energy and your mojo, man. Your mojo is just too infectious. I will, if somebody, you know what, call me. If somebody being negative around you, Mr. John, just let me know. I'll come and drop cover and take care of that. Like, no negativity over here. None of that negativity over here.
It's hard. It is hard.
I love it. I love it. So we're gonna take another quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit about this book of yours.
For all those times you stood by me, for all the truth you made me see, for all the joy you brought in my life, for all the wrong that you made right, for every dream you made come true, for all the love I found in you, I'll be forever thankful, 'cause you're the one who held me up, you never let me fall, 'cause you're the one who saw me through it all. You were my strength when I was weak, you were my voice when I couldn't speak, you were my eyes when I couldn't see, you saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach, you gave me faith 'cause you believe I'm everything I am because you believe.
Listen, that song right there was my daddy. Listen, my daddy never ever sung. But when that song came on, boy, let me tell you, that man would sing his heart out. Okay? Sing it out.
He thought he was Lufa.
He thought he was Lufa. He did. He really did. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in with us.
We talking about like
It is
chunky with the ain't
yeah.
quite right
We're
curl
not,
Lufa.
yeah, we're not talking about skinny Luther. We're not.
With the curl loofah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of I Often Wonder. We are having an amazing conversation with Mr. John. He is the owner and founder of I Am a Testimony Apparel, as well as an author of a quite amazing book, if I must say. I was reading some of the reviews and things on it. The book is called Spiritual Message Moment. Tell us about that book. What was the process that you went through while writing that book, the concept of it? Just give us the backdrop information.
I'll drop it in like no other. Hey, listen, so as I was sharing about the series that I've been doing for the last 4 years, one of the things that I looked at was the amount of content that I had for a couple of years that I had started it, and so one of the things I've been writing for some time now, and one of the things that just I couldn't believe was the mere fact that I had an 8-book or more series just on the videos that I have been doing.
Oh, wow.
And so Spiritual Message Moments is the first book of probably a series, eventually probably 7 or 8 books over the Lord willing. That was some of my first messages that I had done. And it was, if you look at the title, it has God's Guide to Getting Back on Track.
Yeah.
And the word guide is a breakdown of godly, unique instructions divinely explained.
Ooh.
So if you look at if you go through the book, it has particular areas that talks about getting back on track, and track was trust God, rely on Him, acknowledge Him, cast your cares on Him, and know Him for yourself. That's how you get back on track to those 5 things.
Okay.
And so each chapter was a breakdown of the words that I had been using, and then I got a chance to really dive in and add stories to it, so that individuals who read it can identify with certain things in their life and see how they can begin to get back in line and get back on track on what they were doing for their life. And so, man, when I tell you I got probably over 3 or 4, probably about 300 or more different videos, so I got a lot of content.
That, the way that you just broke down the word guide, like, a lot of people, the way that the structure of, that's not the way I want to say that. The way that your brain dissects things is on a whole nother level. And it is so refreshing to actually hear someone dissect it. Not only hear someone, but hear, because this is 28 Days of Black History, but to hear a black man dissect it and show the intelligence that our culture holds is phenomenal. So I have to commend you on that off gate.
I'm humbled.
Yeah, that is. I know y'all got some questions because I'm already a little bit full. I'm actually sitting here and I'm looking at some of your posts from your Facebook page on the I Am a Testimony, and I'm sitting here. I pulled up my Word document because I'm gonna make my Christmas list because I see a couple bags that I want, a couple T-shirts that I'm gonna go ahead and buy for some folks.
Yeah, think about this. When we build businesses for ourselves, or actually when we build businesses for others first, because the majority of us, we find ourselves working for individuals where we're building their dreams.
Right.
And so the most challenging part is believing enough that we would invest in ourselves to build our dreams. And so one of the things that I saw when I began to go into the apparel business was, why should I wear somebody else's gear?
That part.
And so I began to create the apparel line personally, because I knew, one, if I'm going to like some stuff, I'm going to find some things that I know I'm going to like, but I'm going to prepare the gear for others so that they don't have to wear something from a spiritual aspect that doesn't identify with what they're doing. So like I consistently see gospel singers not wearing any gospel gear.
Right. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna be, I know you like what you like, but man, if you're in front of 4, 5, 6, 7,000, 20,000 people and you got on Nike, why? There's no message in it. So my gear is geared toward messages, and all of them, they have different things. Like right now, I got two different designs coming out. One is God, God opens doors, and it has an image of these multiple doors open and a person walking through them, because God opens doors that no man can close, but you don't see. But who's wearing that? And then also I have one that says, the only thing pretty about these knees are the answers to the prayers.
Listen. If people only understood how much a real prayer warrior stays on their knees.
Yeah, and they be ugly. Listen,
they be ugly. They do, unless you know a little good secret of cocoa butter and a little bit of baby oil. They gonna be a little dark color, like somebody's grandma burnt something in the kitchen. I'm trying to tell you.
So that's the direction. As I was listening to you guys talk about, I think I heard catering. There's the different business or ideas that you have. Somebody's waiting on your idea, and you can't allow it to slip by because you might be fearful. But the greatest fear is, the greatest fear is not doing it, seeing somebody else do it.
Right.
That's right there.
Yeah, because you'll be mad at one another.
Wow.
And I wanted to say one other thing. You guys were talking about, guests that you have coming on. The greatest commodity is relationships.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
So we have to look at them as commodities because they have benefits, and then they also have influence. that you deal with. And so, when we begin, as you're building relationships with the guests that come on, or just outside of life and inside of life, your circle of influence, those things are going to be so important as you move forward, because again, you have no idea who's going to touch you and take you 3 steps further.
Right. That's true.
That's why I always stay grinding hard, man. I just don't never know.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm preparing myself for that breakout.
Yeah.
And so if it, when it comes, I'm like, all right, it's another day. Keep grinding. So, man, Mr. John, man, you go on ahead.
Listen.
Man. You got a brother feeling all warm and fuzzy inside, man.
What is going on with him lately?
I'm
He's
just
been
saying.
extra. He has been extra sappy lately. That's my job.
No, I'm not being sappy. You know what it is? It's because it's like when you start working for yourself, you just don't care about any negative mess, and I'm just because.
I'm not fooling with him.
It's strong.
Smell garbage.
It's strong.
Smell garbage.
Oh no, it's strong. No, you just appreciate the work that you do, because it's for a reason. It's for a purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then, especially with me, I wanted to work for my own because I wanted to spend more time with my family. So I'm getting up early. I go ahead, get my ducats, what I need to do for my daily quota.
Right.
Clean up my station, and I go home.
That part. Unless you got to come here.
Unless I'm coming to record, of course. So, right now, call me savvy. I don't care. I'm just enjoying and doing the things that I want to do. And, and when the money comes, great, but I'm just enjoying life. I ain't got time for all
I think that's the biggest thing for me is that, well, 2 things I wanted to do it for. One was spend more time with my family.
Yeah.
My immediate and my distant family.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to invest in others. I want, if I don't have nothing, like capital-wise, I can't really invest.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to invest in others. And so I said, and I'm doing something that I like.
Yeah.
I like speaking to people. I like meeting new people, creating relationships and connections and stuff like that.
Damn sap.
And then I like, then with the clothing line that I'm trying to create too, I like being
J.
creative.
Edward Collection.
Right, J. Edward Collection.
Nice.
Shameless plug.
Nice.
But I like being creative, and that both of them actually give me a chance to use my creative talents. Because coming up with a show, you still have to use your creative talents.
Yeah.
Doing the editing behind the scenes, you got to use your creative talents.
Yeah.
So that's one reason I want to do. But I want to play this clip.
Play the clip.
That's not the right
not
one.
the clip.
On many calls that we've had, one of the calls that I got was from Terrence, who really kind of had the thought process in him and Ed Williams. He wanted to put together. Now, when he said, I want to get 5 men together because I've been to all these conferences where there's a lot of women. I said, well, I've been to hundreds of churches where there's been a lot of women. So I understood exactly where he come from, from the inside out. So I tell you, the level of mindsets that he put together, or at least requested or reached out to, it was like having 5 all-stars come to an all-star game. It really was, because no one crossed over the area of expertise that they wanted to teach in, and when you look at individuals who can actually bring 5 different areas of life to the table and work together, it was an experience that I knew I couldn't miss, because you don't get it that often, and I've been around a lot. I've seen a lot of conferences, been to a lot of places where my father spoke, growing up, and it's dominated, by the female, ladies, and that's to me.
That was a while back.
Tell us about
2016.
that. Yeah, tell us about that clip and what interview. Do you remember what interview and stuff that was?
I remember the interview. Basically, I was becoming a part of a group of individuals which they were called Men of Vision, and it was 5 men that at that time were really beginning to come into their own in the speaking industry. And so, they thought it would be good to come together and do a conference. One of the things that, for me, I have been speaking since probably about 3 years old, from a point of my father. I got a brother that's a pastor in Long Beach, and we are a year and a day apart. So when we were 3 and 4 or 2 and 3, we were already learning Bible verses. So he would call us up in front of a church of 200 or 300 and ask us to quote the Bible verse. The books of the Bible. So we were already doing that at a young age. So a lot of times you can be in a position where individuals really don't know your thorough history in the area that they're going into. And so I was talking about these men coming together and being able to come from different backgrounds and formulate, at that time, a group of men that could actually bless some individuals from a male perspective. And so, and we were able to do that at that time.
That is amazing.
One thing. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
One of the things, of course, in that conversation was seeing the empowerment or the growth of women, going into conferences, but they've always searched out leadership role of leaders and leadership. So women are always around great leaders, and so that's one of the things that I've watched all my life as far as and I'm pretty sure if you attend services, you know exactly what I'm speaking about. Because,
yes,
the churches have always been dominated, by women, and so there's that time there's a time in life where you have to change the course especially for men, because our young men are not getting the type of wisdom and information that they should be, because they are in single family homes too. And majority are women that they are being raised by. So, we wanted to do something, and I still do that. I'm a part of the National Men's Prayer Call, which is a men's group, and I get a chance to speak every so often, to a greater group, because we need that in our lives right now.
Right.
I think that is so amazing, because those groups, you hit on a couple things that we talk about on a regular basis. One of those being, this generation of men are growing up in these single homes, and they're not really getting to see or to really understand what it takes to be a man, especially a man of faith. Because like you said, the church is, and I'm as they like to say, the token church girl of the group. But that's all you do see when you go to churches. You see the women out populating, the women serving. And what's funny is we just had a conversation about that at my church. Excuse me, a group of friends of mine. We do a outreach on fourth Saturdays where we hand out food to the community. And we were questioning, why do we have to beg and push and look for all these men? And I had to point out, I said, well, you look at our church, we have way more women than we have men in our church. So the men that are there are already stretched out thin, or they have responsibilities to their families and things of that nature. So you poured out a lot of great points, and those groups are definitely needed in this day and time, and this lovely climate of the world, the way it's changing. So I have to definitely commend you on those.
Right.
Well,
I appreciate that.
If you look at it, that's just a reflection of our community.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because I was fortunate enough to have both parents in the house, but I have plenty of homeboys, plenty of cousins that can't say that.
Right.
So that's just the unfortunate part of looking like us in this country, and I don't want to say blame who you want, but at the end of the day, we got to find a way to get past that and stop using it as a reason why we can't advance ourselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At some point we had to say, all right, let's just reset, start over. Like, so if this has happened, and even if, especially for the men out there, like, because I've caught myself doing it. Like when I was a manager, being a sous chef at a corporate restaurant in Charlotte, You know, I gravitated to the young boys that look like me, but it wasn't to be a father to them. It was to be just a man, because they don't have that.
Right.
Just like, bro, you can talk to me, like decompress.
Right.
Stop taking on so much pressure. You know, enjoy yourself, and then at the same time, I'm showing them certain things cooking wise that they may not get. Pretty much, I'm dropping little nuggets that they hopefully can go on and use further down the line, even if they with me or not. It might be just a little nugget of information. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need more of that.
Right.
No, but see, that's a powerful statement, because if you think about the first statement you made, you had both parents in the home. So there's an example in your home, even if it's not to that extent as far as being able to go and match up with other male individuals, but you had something to look at on a consistent basis. And even in your moments where you wanted to ask a question, or those moments you were scared to ask a question and he might pull it out of you, or you saw certain things that allowed you to say, oh man, okay, instead of going that way, I saw my father go this way and do this, then that's smart. So your approach is different, mainly because if you think about how you were able to use the example that you had in your life, because I had my father as well, both parents, and I had one of the greatest examples ever in my life. And you know, it has brought me to where I am today. Even in the bad decisions that I've made, I've always had that foundation of knowing, man, you know, what would my father say if I asked him this question? But I already know from the spiritual aspect, you know, the kind of ideas he would always be to say something spiritual, and it could be just one word, and that would change the whole course of my thinking and my path. So that's awesome that you can actually see him in you without even knowing it sometimes, by being able to gravitate toward individuals and use the wisdom that you've already seen and learned. And it allows you to see if it works or not, because now somebody else will get a chance to use it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you just really think about it, like, just imagine how great we can be in as a culture if literally everybody would just stop trying to make it a competition against each other.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only reason why it baffles me, is like, we can accomplish so much by just sharing information with each other. Like, we withhold information from each other thinking that, oh, well, if I give him this information, he gonna end up better than me. Like, why think like that? I don't get that. My thing is I love it. Like, if I'm shining and my peoples around me is shining, and people that look like me is shining, what's the problem? We all shining.
Right.
I don't get it, man.
He's at a loss. He's usually at a loss for words when it comes to that part right there.
No, it baffles me.
I understand that. I understand that. I've seen it a lot longer than he has.
Yes.
And you know, and we have been a conditioned people, and so that makes it challenging, because let's go again. We can piggyback off the first question. You know, as far as Black history, there were some things that was taken from us. And we were placed in certain areas of that we were not familiar with, and we really got taken away from the structure of individuals we were.
Right.
And so, because of that, if you think of the offsprings that were from those individuals, they were lost too. So we have all these generations. My dad used to tell us, if anything ever happens in a family, either negative or positive, it goes 4 generations deep. So when you think about our ancestors, we're really in the 4th generation right now, because I'm in my 50s. So, you know, we're looking at the great kids, which is that 4th generation. And it's either individuals who are giving offsprings to people that, you know, to their kids that they're not familiar with, because they didn't get taught, you know, in those times in the you know, the 50s and the 60s, because we were still coming into our own as far as being able to vote and all those things. So, you know, from a historical aspect, we are now seeing what has happened, you know, in that gap. And now we got a little larger gap, because those who were, you know, born in the 80s and 90s really got it bad, because they're not teaching any wisdom whatsoever, because, you know, it's not there.
Crap.
It's
but you know what? Oh, go ahead.
No, just real quick, it's crazy because you said we are conditioned people, and I want us to stop being conditioned and be adaptive. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to learn how to adapt. I don't know.
I just did that word.
Yeah.
That's good. Now,
Go
hold
ahead,
that thought. We're going to take another quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will wrap things up. Y'all stay tuned.
Somebody say this. Won't you feel me with you? Come on, holy fire, burn away my desire. Anything that is not of you and is of me. I want it. I want more of you and less of me. Somebody sing empty me. Come on, get your hands in the air, say it. Empty me. Now ask him, say, feel me. Won't you feel me? Oh God, I want you with you. Let's get out of here. I've been singing too long. Here we go. Well, won't you empty? Well, won't you empty me? Well, won't you empty me? Well, I'm living water. Won't you empty me? Well, I'm living water. Well, won't you empty me? I want more. I want more. I want more. I want more of you, Jesus. I want more. I want more. I want more of you, Jesus.
Listen,
I want more.
you just know I love these songs. I don't know why you do this to me. I don't
more of you, Jesus.
understand it, Lord. Welcome,
We are back.
Welcome back. We are, listen, this conversation has been out freaking standing. Okay. We've been talking with Mr. John, and I have to say that it's, I don't want to say refreshing, but I feel like that's the best word right now. It's refreshing to see a man of faith, a man of substance, who is not only has admitted, you've made bad decisions, but to see where you came from after making those bad decisions, and to see you taking your faith and putting it into a line, into a book, into a lifestyle. It is amazing. Amazing. I am the sap of the show. That they will tell you. I am usually the crybaby of the show. And it's just so heartwarming to see
Hallelujah
your
make you cry.
vision. It does. It does. I can't help it. But to see your vision come full circle, to hear the excitement and the love in your voice that you have for your vision and for your people, is everything. Like, I absolutely love it. Yeah. I know we've said it on other shows, but like other guests, you have definitely lit a fire back in us. Fire! Right at the right time. Yeah. Like, now I did want to ask you this, because a lot of as I'm looking through your apparel line, your graphics and stuff are amazing. Now, do you do 95% of all of your graphics and stuff? Do you have a team? Like, what is your process when you have an idea, and you know that you definitely want to add that to your collection?
That's a great question. Everything has its own steps and process. So, when I get the vision of a particular image that I would like to see on apparel, I myself try and kind of like maybe sketch it out. But what I really do is write it. What I'm actually trying to envision, because if you write it, you make it plain, and then you run with it. And so if I'm able to kind of like write it, I have a couple of graphic designers who have been working with me for some time, so they know that if I send them an image idea, they know the type of what I'm trying to do as far as to make the type of impact that I want to make. whether someone wears it or not, because I got designs I've never even put out. I probably got about 40 of them I've never even shown yet.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so it's, so that process has been, something that is, now it's a habit because, I have a cookie cutter. And the good thing about that is when someone, like Jermail, he and I were talking, and if you have that, if someone picks up the phone and has that idea as far as apparel, I've done enough mistakes and I've made a lot of great decisions to where I can share that with him and cut his path in half.
Right.
Because a lot of times, again, we were talking about information. It's important to have some, so that when someone does call you, there's something legitimately you can actually share with them that can actually change the course of what they're trying to do as far as a business, especially if you're a solopreneur, womanpreneur, manpreneur, entrepreneur.
Right.
And so, yeah, so that's to answer that question about the process, that's what I do. And some of them I can actually do myself if it's words. Like I just did one called I Have Spiritual Gap Insurance. And gap is good, acceptable, and perfect will of God, which is Romans 12:2.
Listen,
so,
you and the breakdown of these words are making my feet happy.
Yeah, so one thing hit me, and
yeah, that right foot look like it's tapping real quick.
Yeah, I have a great spiritual connection, and so those things happen, and I bring it to life.
Wow.
Let me just tell you. Listen,
can't nobody be negative. No more.
They can't be negative.
No more.
I'm around a whole bunch of church folk, so I'm telling you right now, they getting a lot of his stuff for Christmas. So family, y'all already know. Y'all don't be surprised when y'all open the box. Just know it's coming. It's coming. Did y'all have any other questions? Because I am. Y'all know it don't take much for me, and he's done just that. I'm good and happy.
No, I just love your story, Mr. McClung. So I
appreciate
your story. I love your energy, your positive vibes.
Right.
It's just vibrating through the conversation.
Vibration.
I'm just saying, just I just feel the good juju. That's all I know. I just feel the good mojo.
Good vibrations.
Positive vibrations. Yeah, positive.
Here he goes with his song.
A good spirit, a good spirit, man.
Hey,
I feel you, brother.
That right there, preach on its own.
And I love how you pretty much when you keep ascending, you got a hand back trying to pull somebody else up. So I love that too. So
yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, as from a spiritual, lifestyle, your greatest example is the Lord, and so there's many moments that he had to reach and help somebody. Even the disciple that decided to walk on water and lost focus on him. And he asked for help, and the Lord had to reach down and help. So why would I not do that?
Right. I hear you.
Right.
I hear you.
Listen,
Mel, you got anything I could?
Yeah, because I'm good and happy.
Well, I'm all good.
I want to go. There's a lot of stuff I wanted to say, but I want to go back on that. But I do want to talk about real quick. I saw that 248 number. I was like, hey, wait a minute, somebody from Michigan. That's why I was born and raised. That's my stomping ground.
He's
listen.
all day long.
Ooh, I was a DJ in Detroit for 20 years, man.
Really? What station?
Well, I didn't.
Oh, you mean like DJ, like doing parties?
Yeah, I used to do. I had a DJ service called Dynamic Sound. I used to DJ at the Radio Lounge, man, and on the East Side.
Wow.
Oh wow, East Side, my stomping grounds too.
Yeah, I was one of the most well-known DJs in Detroit at the time.
I'm gonna have to ask around about you, man. Ask around.
Because
ask him about
Jamel knows he knows everyone.
So, where did you live at when you was in Michigan?
I stayed in Southfield.
Okay.
Well, I stayed in a couple places. I stayed on Safer and 6 Mile, and then I stayed on Southfield and 10 Mile.
Oh, my cousin stayed on Cruise.
Oh, okay.
I got a cousin on Roberson.
Yeah. I used to play ball at Kettering High School with some of the guys and all that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I lived in Detroit for 25 years.
Okay, yeah, that's my stumping grounds. I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, I gotta ask him about Detroit.
Yeah, we know some places.
Well, man, that's good to have you, man. I know I'll be contacting you when once we finish this later on, get with this apparel thing and everything. But
yeah,
I'm just glad that you
Absolutely.
you accepted to come on. Yeah. It's been real informative. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to say, but I was letting you talk. 'Cause I was like, shoot,
listen, he's talking good stuff.
Let him say what he got to say. He's saying some good stuff. See, a wise man know when to be quiet.
Hey.
So
you're wise today?
The times you be talking.
No.
So today you're wise.
One thing about me, I say things with purpose. It may sound like I'm saying something stupid, but there's a reason why I'm saying what I say.
We know this, but I'm just saying today you chose to be wise and be quiet.
He was saying good stuff.
So
and I was like, there's no need me to interrupt.
those ignorant moments that you had,
please,
there's a purpose for that.
Thank you so kindly.
There's a purpose for that. Trust me.
Some days I
didn't know anybody had a purpose just to come in and just be ignorant.
All right, okay. Man, let me show you my book.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, it was nice. It was nice having you, Mr. McClung. We really enjoyed you, man.
I enjoyed it. Go ahead, plug yourself real quick where they can find you at and all the good.
Oh, absolutely. If you first of all, if you Google me,
Google
John McClung Jr. or I'm a Testimony.
Okay.
I think that will pull up. But majority of the social media that I'm on, LinkedIn, Facebook, it's under John McClung Jr. And if it's not, Instagram is under I Am a Testimony.
Okay.
As well as my Facebook group page is Friends of I Am a Testimony. And so that's the easiest way to find me, just, by name and those social media outlets. And, if I can serve in any way, please let me know.
We appreciate you, man.
We appreciate you. Oh, I'm gonna follow you to get some inspirational moments when I'm feeling down.
Look, I just sent the friend request.
Every Monday night, 10:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Pacific Time for my people on the West Coast.
Heard that. So I know where to get some little spiritual energy from. Copy that.
Love it.
Monday nights is going down.
Thank you so much. We hope that you have an amazing rest of the day, of the week.
We appreciate you, brother.
And we will, trust me, I done subscribe to the Facebook page.
Oh no, I already did that.
I done favorite it.
I'm waiting for the acceptance.
I'm favorited the website. Listen, we gonna be.
Oh, I didn't give you that. Did you get that? Did you get the website?
Go ahead.
Well, we haven't. Give it to the listeners.
Okay, it's I'm gonna do it two ways. I am a testimonyapparel.com altogether. I am a testimonyapparel.com, and then my name as well is JohnMcClungJr.com.
All right.
JMJ.
Love it.
Like that.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. McClung.
You are amazing.
We appreciate you, brother.
We love you. Thank you for being a part of our friend zone now.
Oh, no.
You can't vote.
You can't vote now.
Yeah.
you can't vote now.
You are. Thank you so much. We will be talking with you very soon.
All right, Doc.
I look forward to it. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Pretty much.
Bye-bye.
All right, my brother.
Listen.
That was good business right there.
Every time. It never fails. Never fails. These guests come on here and they just turn the world upside down.
I just love it how every guest we've gotten has literally come at the right time and moment for us.
Listen,
it's crazy.
If y'all knew the backstory, if y'all want to know the backstory of why we keep saying it,
check on the plug. Get ready.
It wasn't gonna plug. Oh. Drop a comment down below. And we'll do an episode of why we say the things that we've been saying as far as why this 28 days has been so amazing. I cannot with him. I cannot. Well, because he's getting ready to start his tomfoolery. When there's nothing else to say, it's time to go because Lamar and Jamel are getting ready to cut up.
Yeah, this nigga.
So, I am your girl, Black Barbara Walters.
You see that shoulder move though?
Why are you shimmying like a burlesque dancer? Wild Card Mars.
That's that freakum shoulder moving.
Wild Card Mars signing off. And of course,
it's that nigga.
Oh, so you gotta go bye. Bye. Till next time. We love y'all.
Here we are. Let's get on the card. Leave all your problems on the outside. told you we was coming to praise him up here.